Hey everyone, warm welcome back to our second round of guna practices. If you want more information on the yoga concept of the gunas, then go back to the introductory video within this category of classes, and you'll get to learn a little bit more about these three energies. This practice is going to explore the concept of rajas. Rajas is energy, it's motivation, passion, propulsion. It's growth, it's change, it's getting out of being stuck, it's blooming, it's all of that. When it's out of balance, it's like depletion, right? It's excess, it's obsession. So we might come to this practice because we're feeling a little sluggish and we need a kick in the ass and we need to get our engine going and we need to get going. Take us where we want to go, right? We might come to this practice because we have a lot of energy and we need to move that through. And so that we can be then satisfied perhaps with being still, with resting when we need it. So there's many different reasons why you might land here. In today's practice, we're going to explore that energy of rajas with some breath work. We'll do Kapalabhati and Bhastrika. Both of those breath practices can be really stimulating. So if they're feeling too stimulating for you, then slow them down or take breaks when you need to. The practice will involve some back bends. Back bends can be good for getting you going, getting your back body to wake up and push you forwards into the world. And so for that, you might want some of these props. You might want a block or two, a blanket to sit on. And if you choose to invert, then you could be near a wall so you can flip yourself there easily and take inversions with the safety and support of the wall. Okay, so we'll start with the breath practice first. And I'm going to sit on a block. You can sit cross-legged if you want, but I'm going to take this block, sit on it this way on its low level so that I can squeeze my feet right around the block. And then hands to the top of the thigh and start to sort of knead downwards. So we'll start with this good landing into the earth, connecting down through your sit bones. You might press both and lift your armpits up. And then move your hands, index and middle finger, to your low ribs. And start to pull yourself up like you're getting more space between your rib basket and your pelvis. And go for the thumb side lifting up more, so you're really lifting the back of your diaphragm. And then keep that lift, take your hands like this, and place your thumbs in your armpits, bring your elbows in, lift the top of your armpit, and descend the back of your armpit. So you're getting a little more lofty in your chest, right? Keep that lift, take your hands to the base of your skull, and you can lift the back of your skull up, tuck your chin a bit, and get some traction into your neck. Yeah, and then take your arms out to the sides and spin your palms up, your thumbs down. Spin from the front of your armpit a lot. And then take that up into a Y. And keep all of those actions so you're really well lifted. So it might feel a little easier to have your arms up, suspended like this. And this is where we'll practice our Kapalabhati. So the Kapalabhati is those sharp exhales, snapping the lower belly back to the spine. And we can go for up to 50 here, then we'll exhale all our breath. Inhale for as long as you comfortably can, and then again exhale. So take a breath in, take a breath out, another breath in, and start snapping. Exhale everything out. Pause on empty. And then inhale all the way to the top of your breath. And take your arms overhead, hook your thumbs, and reach even more through your ribs. Pause your breath, reach space in between each of your ribs. Reach your head off of the base of your neck. Reach your arm bones out of your shoulders. Reach your forearms off of your upper arms. Spread space in between all of your hand bones. Sip in a little more breath through your mouth. A little more through your nose. Be so full, and then pop the cork. Exhale around yourself, let your hands come down, let your hands come back into your lap, and catch the afterglow of that breath. Right, and then go back to kneading your thighs down. See if you get a little more descent, a little more grounding. And then cup your ribs and lift them. Backside more than the front. And then thumbs in the armpits, front side more than the back here. Lift your head. Take your arms out, flip your thumbs down, your palms up, and then create a frame. So either grab wrists or forearms or elbows and pick that frame up as high as you can. Inhale, and then exhale it down. Inhale it up. Try to clear your head and exhale it down. We'll go for 10, and you can speed it up with me a little bit. This is the Bhastrika breath, so it's a strong inhale and a forced exhale. Hold at the top, hook thumbs, breathe in a little more through your mouth, a little more through your nose, and get as tall as you can. And then ease, rain down on yourself as you exhale your breath. And take your hands back to your lap. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. So nice. Okay, come off of your block, come into a tabletop position. Measure yourself up well. You can tuck your toes and sink your hips back to your heels. Bounce a little there, opening up through your feet. Shift forwards, pitter-patter a little bit through your feet. And then start to cat-cow, but don't lose connection to the tops of your feet. So you're pressing your toenail side down, and you're cat-cowing a little quicker and breathing a little quicker than you normally would. Almost like you're trying to loosen things up, trying to agitate some movement through your spine, and be a little more controlled in your neck and be a little more easy with the movement through your pelvis. So start the movement in your pelvis and try not to whiplash your neck too much. So you can inhale, exhale. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale everything. Tuck your toes. Go back to easy breathing and bounce on the tops of your feet. And then climb up so that you are on your tucked toes. You can take your pinky toes underneath. Press down through the top of your thigh. Lift your back ribs up. Lift your armpits up. Lift your head up. Take your arms wide, externally rotate. I don't have all the space here. And then go up, up, up. And reach your arms up, reach your back ribs up, and just start to shift a little side to side like you're picking fruit or something. One side and then the other. And the fruit's like just out of reach. Or you're like trying to get the top shelf mug off and you don't want to break it because it's your favorite one. You're just reaching on tippy toes. One more breath. And then shift forwards back into your tabletop. Flip one hand all the way around. Circle through that wrist. You might do one at a time or you might do both at the same time. Flip your other hand around. Maybe flip your other hand forwards. Maybe both. Press into the thumb side of your hand. Then you can tuck your toes. Again, shift back. See if you can bend your elbows a little bit. See what you get there. Shift forwards. Okay, back to your tabletop. Put your shoulder right in the middle of your hands. So we're going to take our right arm through, palm facing up, and see if we can get our shoulder right there. With your left hand, tent it. Press into it so that your shoulders line up a little bit more. Try not to move your hips to the left. Keep them in the middle and see if you can take your left arm up. So you're sort of pressing down through your bottom arm to help your left arm stack on top of your right. Take a breath. Try not to look down at your hips. Look a little bit up towards the top of your mat and then come out of it. Come back up, tabletop, and then it's your left shoulder that's gonna go right in the middle. You can come up onto fingertips for that. See if you can line it up. Your right finger tense. Your left shoulder presses into the floor. Look a little forwards instead of down. Try to keep your hips in the middle. See what side is harder. Keep pressing into your left foot, your left side. Breathe. And then right hand back down. Come back up. Hands plant. Tuck your toes. Bounce back on your toes. And then come back into a downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet in down dog. Walk your feet a little back so that when you come forwards, you find a plank. And then when you go back, you find the hip crease in your downward facing dog. 10 times. Inhale forwards. Exhale back. 1, 2. When you do this, wide collarbones, straight arms. 3, 4. Keep breathing with it. 5, 6. Find your ankles. 8. Find your hip crease. 9 and 10. Come back into a plank and we're going to slowly lower to the ground. And untuck toes. Take your hands out to the sides on fingertips. Make your elbows go wide. Pubic bone and tailbone shoot to the back of your mat. Inhale, come up into an upper back cobra. And exhale, come down 5 times. 1, 2, imagine you're squeezing a block in between your inner thighs. 3, and you're widening your hamstrings apart from each other as your pinky toe side is heavy into the floor. 4, nice, and 5. And then from here, let your left arm come down, and you can move your left elbow a little higher. Press into your right hand and roll over onto your left side. You might scorpion your top foot behind you. Get that pectoral stretch. And then come into the middle and switch sides. So your goalpost arm, elbow a little higher than your shoulder, roll over. You might scorpion your leg behind you. And let's go side to side 5 times. So with your breath, both sides is 1. And 2. And as you see, I'm actually bringing my head up off the floor, but you can keep your head on the floor. 4. And 5. Into the middle. Hands plant by your lower ribs. Engage your legs, kneecaps lift. Come up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back into a downward facing form. From down dog, again, 5 times to plank, and back to down dog. And find the crease of your groin as you go back and the lift of your pubic bone. So this is not a lot in your back. It's in the folds of your wrists, your ankles, and your hips. So that's 3, 4, and 5. Come through to plank and take your right forearm down and your left forearm down and be in a forearm plank. Take a breath in there. You can lower your hips a little, lift the space in between your shoulder blades, and angle your right forearm so that your right hand touches your left wrist. And see if you can roll to the right edges of your feet. Keep wrapping your bottom shoulder blade into the armpit. You might use your left hand for support, or you might take it up and stack your feet here. Let's take 5 breaths, pressing down through the bottom arm, wrapping the shoulder blade into the armpit of the bottom arm and lifting the bottom hip up. So you're trying to create a little more activation on your bottom side, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Try not to let this shoulder roll forwards. Keep it back. And 5. Back into your forearm plank. You might come to your knees, take a break before the other side, or take a breath in the middle and angle your forearm. And then roll to the left edges of your feet. Now you might have your right hand as support. You could stack your feet. You could wrap that bottom shoulder blade under you so that your shoulder doesn't dip forwards. You might take your arm up and then lift your bottom side a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it back into your forearm plank. Take a rest if you need, or left hand to the floor, push up, right hand to the floor, hip crease pulls you back into your downward facing dog. Paddle out your feet. Connect to your breath, especially the inhale phase of your breath, right up into your armpits, your breast tissue, chest tissue, whatever you've got there, and your lymph in your armpits, upper lungs. Nice. Let's take our right leg high into the air. Then we're going to take our right leg, right foot, to the outside of the right hand. So it's wide on the mat. Lean into your left hand and take your right arm up. So you're in a nice twist. Keep your hips from shifting too far to the right. Move them a little to the left as you open up that twist. Can you take your right hand behind the back of your head? And then with your left arm straight, see if you can tap as close down to your wrist as you can with your right arm, and then come back up. We'll do 5. So that's 1. Exhale down. Inhale up for 2. Keep your bottom arm pretty straight. 3, 4, really mobilizing your upper back. And 5. Both hands to the floor. Roll over your back set of toes and drop your left knee down and come up. You can climb up. So now you're in a 90-90 with your right foot out to the side, okay? Down through your hips, up through your ribs, back ribs especially, up through your armpits, front armpits especially, up through your head. Externally rotate your arms. Take your arms up. You can create that frame if you want. Grab your wrists, your forearms, or your elbows, pull up on it. Take a breath there. Little tuck of your tail. You don't want to get stuck in that, but it can be good for hip extension and finding your deep core. 1 more breath there. Now, really be in your feet and see if you can lift right up off your back set of tucked toes. So catch your balance there. You're going to be a little wide in your stance. Keep lifting out of your low back. You can let your arms come down. And we're going to aim our left foot for the middle of our mat. So step forwards, left foot into the middle of the mat. And then shift weight into your left foot. Bring your right leg back so that you're in a warrior 3. And you can do all sorts of arm variations. I'm going to interlock my hands behind my back. You might even teeter-totter a little forwards with your head and back up through your leg. Yeah, and then your hands can come down. This is an opportunity for a little handstand hop if you like. Turn to the wall, take a handstand hop, handstand press if you like. Let it be messy. Step back into your downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, find that long dog that lets you come to a good plank. And then we'll lower slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Untuck your toes. Fingers wide, elbows wide. Inhale, come up. And exhale down 5 times. Come on up. Upper back pulls through your shoulders. 3, pinky toe side grounded. inner thighs lift. 4, wide hamstrings, wide low back. Last one. And 5. Left hand goalposts, a little higher than the shoulder with your elbow. Roll over. You might stack your feet or scorpion tail your top leg. Go over to the other side, your goalpost arm. Elbow a little higher than the shoulder. Roll it over to that side. So nice. Come into the center, hands by your low ribs, tuck toes, activate your legs. Press up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find your hip crease. You've got your down dog. Really good. Left leg high. And then your left leg, left foot comes the outside of your left hand. And your left arm goes up. So you're in this twist. Can you take your hand behind your head and keep your bottom right arm straight as you exhale, go down, inhale, go up. Try not to dip that right shoulder forwards. Keep it back in the joint. Keep your shoulder blade wide. 2, we go for 5, 3, 4, nice, and 5. And then both hands find the floor. Roll over your back set of toes, knee down, climb up, hips down. Little tuck of the tail, ribs lift, armpits lift, head lifts, external rotation of your arms, find the frame. Think the bottom tips of your shoulder blades are boosting your chest a little forwards as you're bracing a little in your abdomen. So it's your upper back and shoulders that get the big stretch. Nice, and then can you tuck your back set of toes if it's not tucked? Can you find the steadiness of your inner legs and come up? And then reestablish that lift that you have. Low ribs, head off the top of the shoulders, right? And then your arms can come down and we're aiming our right foot in the middle. Step it forwards. Left foot goes back into your variation of warrior 3. Choose an arm position. Breathe long. You might teeter-totter it a little forwards. Nice, you could take your hands down. You can step back or there might be an opportunity for a hop, for a press. Back into your downward facing dog. Get your long dog, shift to plank. Back to down dog. 5 times to plank. Get the fold. Down dog to plank. Back to down dog. Plank, 4. And back. And then your 5th one. Find the hip crease, forwards to plank, slowly lower 5. Wide collarbones, wide shoulder blades, elbows in. 3, 2, 1. Hands wide, maybe a little closer in towards you this time as you might come up a little higher. Try to keep your toes down, your pinky toe side down. Breathe in, breathe out. 3, 4, and 5. And then left hand goalpost, come over. Now if you want, you can lift your left arm, press into it, and reach up into like a wild thing. You're on your outer left foot and your right pinky toe. You can take your arm over your ear. Be strong through your bottom shoulder. Push the ground away. And then come back down. Roll back into the middle. Right arm does the goalpost. You can lift it off the floor and get grounded through the hand and come up. Press up into your wild thing. Maybe take your arm over. You could even take it behind your head. And slowly come down. Roll through the center. Hands by your low ribs, tuck toes, lift your knees. Lift up 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hips back into your downward facing dog. One more time, standing sequence, both sides. Right leg high. Right foot to the outside of your right hand. Right arm up. Hand behind your head. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. 1. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift for 2. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift for 3. 4. And 5. Both hands to the ground, roll over your back set of toes. Come on up, make a frame. Lift, remember all the points to lift. Your ribs, your neck. Beautiful. Tuck your back set of toes. Strong inner line of your legs, strong knee connection to the midline brings you up. Yeah, you can keep your arms like this. Aim your left foot right in between your mat. Right leg back. Your warrior 3. Keep going. Might be a handstand hop, might be a press play. Hands to the floor. Back to your downward facing dog. That wide stance so that when you come forwards, you're in your plank. Hip fold, ankle fold to down dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we're going to take our left foot to our right foot now, and our right foot across. So we're in a crisscross down dog. You might need to have your heels high and your knees bent. Walk your feet so they're like a little wider than hip distance. It's your right leg in front. Spin your feet so that you are in like a wild thing. Toes pointing to the back of the mat. Lift, be more in your legs so there's not so much weight in your shoulder, and you can take your arm over your head, maybe even behind you, lifting your hips. Spin it all the way back so that you're in the crisscross down dog with your right leg in front. Now take your left leg in front of your right. Crisscross down dog. Start to spin your toes to the right and to the back of the mat and be more in your legs so you're less in your shoulder. Lift your hips. You might take your arm over your ear. Be gentle with your bottom shoulder. Keep pressing up and out of it. You can find your wild thing there. And then spin out of it. Back the way that you came. Crisscross downward facing dog. Unhook your feet. Come to plank. Slowly lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Last side, left leg high. Left foot to the outside of your left hand. Left arm up, twisted lunge. Hand behind your head. 5 times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 4 and 5. Both hands to the mat. Back knee down. Come on up. Make your frame. Lift. Little tuck of the tail. Hip extension. Tuck your back set of toes. Be strong through the inner squeeze of your legs to bring you up. You might keep your arms like this. Aim your right foot for the middle of your mat. Shift your weight into your left knee. Start to come towards your warrior 2, 3. It's 3. Come on down. There might be a step back, a hop back to your downward facing dog. Long stance there. Shift forwards. Plank. Hip crease, ankle crease. Down dog. 2. Keep going. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, put your knees down. Come up onto your fingertips a little closer in. See how it would feel to lift up your knees on your fingertips. Come on down. If that feels okay, you could also be on the knuckles, right? But see if you can lift your hips up and be in your bent knee down dog up on your fingertips. Take a breath in there. Take a breath out. Okay, come on down. Hands flat. back to your downward facing dog. Left foot comes over to the right. Right foot comes to the left. Crisscross your down dog. Okay, so left leg goes high up into the air like you're doing a standing split. You're high up onto your right side of tippy toes. Come high up onto your left fingers. Yeah, and then try to externally rotate your left leg. It's like you're doing a konasana in the air. Take it out to the side. Maybe tap your left wrist. Come up onto your right side of fingers. Tap your right wrist. And you've got a crisscross dog. Back to your palms flat. Turn your toes all the way to the right. Behind you. Press away. You've got a wild thing. Enjoy it. Go all the way back the way that you came. Left leg in front. Crisscross down dog. Right leg goes high up onto the air like a split. Come up onto your right fingertips. Externally rotate your right leg. Look under your right armpit. Take it out to the side. You can always bend it. Maybe tap your right wrist. Maybe come onto your left fingertips. Tap your left wrist. Crisscross down dog. Right foot in front. Back to your full handprint. Start to turn your toes to the left. And then all the way around into your wild thing. Keep pressing the ground away. Bottom shoulder wraps into your armpit. Come back the way that you came. Right leg in front. Crisscross down dog. Uncross your legs. Come to plank. Lower slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, walk your legs back. Left arm, shoulder, elbow a little higher than shoulder. Take a sweeter, softer, longer breath there. Tailbone sinks away from your low back. Over to the other side. Right elbow a little higher than your right shoulder. Take a sweeter, softer, longer breath there. Come back into the middle. Hands by the low ribs. Tuck your toes. Lift your kneecaps. Lift 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Find the hip fold. Find the ankle fold. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees to the ground, and shift back over your heels. Walk your hands up. You can stay there, or you can come up and pad the top of your thigh down. Get your psoas length. Lift your back of your low ribs. Lift the front of your armpits. Lift your head. Externally rotate your arms. Take it up. Start to reach a little more side to side. Reach a little more through your back ribs. Like you're reaching for your favorite mug, or you gotta get the sugar from the top shelf. Come on back forwards. Downward facing dog. And then come through to a seat. And you can sit on something, maybe a blanket. Walk your feet at least the width of your mat, maybe a little wider. Feel free to put blocks underneath your knees. Walk your sit bones back. Tip your pelvis forwards. Try to stay long from pubic bone to belly button as you come forwards. You can tent your fingers out in front and reach your gaze, your chest, your belly button through your arms. And then walk your right arm more to the right and roll your right shoulder blade under you, just like you've been doing the whole class, but there's not as much weight on it here. And then wrap your left shoulder on top of your right and see if you can make a big diagonal. And breathe. And then hands down. Walk them all the way to your left side. your left shoulder blade under you, your right shoulder on top, and twist. And then back into the middle. Walk forwards, take a breath, let your head go. 5 count in breath, 5 count out. Start to bring more emphasis into the exhale phase of your breath. Breathe into your low back. And walk it all the way up. Nice. Bring your legs in front. Glue your heels to the ground, maybe even your toes. Start to find your sacrum and then come back up to the top of your pants. Now find your low back, but not your ribs, and come back up. And now find your ribs. Go down and find your ribs. And come back up. And then find the whole back body and your head. And let that go. Right ankle on top of your left knee. Draw it in. You can do your figure 4, pull it in. You can do a supine pigeon. Put your foot and your knee in the crook of your elbows. Draw that in towards you. Stretch your left leg out. Take a few breaths. Try to let your left shoulder still stay a little gravity fed there. You might even play telephone with your foot to your ear or play with a little leg behind your head. One more breath. Let it go. Circle your knees, cupping your knees with your hands. Egg beater, hips. Switch sides, left ankle on top of your right, draw it in. Let your breath be a little longer, a little smoother, maybe a little calmer. Notice the residual effects of movement. You can supine pigeon, play with that. You can play telephone. You can take your leg behind your head. Wherever you're at, take a breath. Play. Explore. Let it go. Cup your knees. Circle. And then soles of the feet together, knees wide. And if you have 2 blocks, you can put your blocks underneath your outer hips, supporting them. Or even use a blanket and a block. You can take your arms over your head, double diamond, and breathe into your midsection, low back, around your heart, the far corners of your lungs. We'll do a triple inhale, pause, and then a long, smooth, steady exhale. And you can orient yourself however you'd like to if this position isn't comfortable for you. So you can exhale your breath and then triple inhale. Pause at the top. And make your exhale as long as you can, like your diver. And take a few free breaths at the bottom. Adjust your position to make yourself 1% more comfortable. And we'll do one more like that. So as you're ready, triple inhale. Pause your breath as long as you comfortably can. Relax inside. Long, smooth, steady exhale as long as you can go. Breathe easy. Adjust your position if you need, and be in the afterglow of the practice, the after effects of the movement, noticing the residue, the wake, the ripple. You can let your gaze focus on the space in between your eyebrows just lightly, and then let your eyes sink back into your skull. Let your skin melt to the earth. Your joints separate. Your bones get heavy. Your organ cavity drop into your back body. And notice whatever insight arises. Okay, my friends, I'm going to leave you here today. You might want to stretch. Because of the nature of this practice, you might want to roll to one side or roll right up. And I hope you have an amazing